We bring you breaking news on the Ravens Rundown as the Baltimore Ravens have agreed in principle to extend linebacker Roquan Smith to a historic 5-year, $100 million contract. Welcome in. Tyler Jones here with you. Happy to have you with us on this giant news day for your Baltimore Ravens. Ian Rapoport with the update moments ago. Tweets out per St. Omni. The Ravens agree in principle with All-Pro linebacker Roquan Smith, now the highest paid at his position in NFL history, with a 5-year, $100 million deal, $45 million fully guaranteed, and $60 million in total guarantees. Huge. The first off-ball linebacker to get $20 million per year. Roquan represented himself. Now, simply put, Roquan Smith has earned this based on what he's done not only for his entire career so far to this point, but also what he's been able to do for this Baltimore Ravens team since the trade was made. He has been spectacular, and the Ravens defense has gone up several notches since he joined this squad. We'll bring you these statistics coming up later. But here's the deal. This was the inevitable, right? If you're the Baltimore Ravens, you don't make a deal where you trade for Roquan Smith unless you were going to extend him. When that deal went down at the trade deadline, all of us, I think, were saying to ourselves, this is not a matter of if they'll extend Roquan Smith, but when they'll get it done. And now you have this taken care of. You didn't have to give up a whole lot for him at the time. Remember, it was just a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick in this upcoming NFL draft. I think we're going to look back years from now of saying that you grabbed one of the best linebackers in the National Football League and you gave up 2 picks and it wasn't even a first-round pick. This was highway robbery that the Ravens pulled off here. Yeah, you had to pay him a lot of money, but at the end of the day, this was a home run deal for the Ravens. You knew you were going to have to pay him, and you only gave up 2 picks to do it. I love it. This worked out beautifully for the Ravens. Now, what does it mean for this team? Also, Lamar Jackson and all of that we'll get into here in just a second. But here's your chance to weigh in on the show. What's your one-word reaction to the Roquan Smith extension? I'll give you my one word here in a moment, but want to hear from you first. Give me your one-word reaction to the Ravens extending Roquan Smith and keeping him in Baltimore for a very long time. Folks, this is why you subscribe to the channel as we bring you breaking Baltimore Ravens news. I was just getting ready to do another video, and we said, no, we got to get to this right here, right now, on Roquan Smith. A huge deal, and we're covering this team like no one else is here on the internet with daily Baltimore Ravens news and rumors. Got a watch party coming up on Sunday night for the Ravens and the Bengals game. Post-game recaps, game previews, and more. It's all in one place. You ain't alive if you ain't subscribed to the Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for free here today. Now, my one-word reaction is, simply put, I'm just going to use 3 letters. Big. This is a big deal. It's a big contract. It's a big win for the Baltimore Ravens to be able to lock down Roquan Smith, and not to mention negotiating with himself. He was representing himself, did not have an agent, and they get this done during the season with a playoff game coming in just a few days. This is a big deal, folks. And you look at what the Ravens bring to the table with Roquan Smith. Here's the side-by-side statistics for you. The first 8 weeks, and we told you on this show, we were very critical of the Ravens defense at the beginning portion of this season. I think everybody kind of points to what happened of that debacle against the Miami Dolphins earlier in the year. But since Roquan Smith joined this team, things have went from 0 to 100 real quick for this group. Points per game. They went from 23 points per game given up, now down to about 15. Yardage per game went from 364.3 to about 289. Passing yards went from about 267 to 201. Rush yards went from about 4.4 yards per rush to 3.5 yards per rush. And red zone percentage went from 61.3 all the way down to 28. Now, that's not all because of Roquan, but a big part of it is because of Roquan Smith. The grades, according to Pro Football Focus for Roquan Smith, give him an overall grade about 69.9, and the rush defense grade is about a 77. Pass rush grade 61.6, coverage grade 59.0. I like Pro Football Focus, but I don't think these numbers do quite the justice of the job that Roquan Smith has done in 2022. So with all that being said, of knowing what Roquan Smith brings to the table for this Baltimore Ravens team, the contract, it is a lot of money for Roquan Smith. How would you grade the contract? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comments section below what you think of that contract. Was that a good deal for the Ravens? Was it too much money? Was it not enough? Whatever it may be. Grade the contract for me, A, B, C, D, or F, in the comments section below. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code CHAT125 for a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 down, you get $125 to spend for free. Betting odds for this weekend, the Ravens and the Bengals. You can get your bets in today with the Ravens and Bengals game. The Bengals at about a 7-point favorite at this point in time. Over-under at 43.5. Get your bets in now. You can bet on this game as well as the rest of the games across the National Football League. You can also bet on some college basketball, NBA, and more. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. Now, here's the next question for the Baltimore Ravens. Is there enough money to pay Lamar Jackson? Because you took care of Roquan. That was a big deal. But now do you have enough to pay Lamar with what you're paying everybody else at this point? Now, there is something to think about here, some silver lining of some sorts. The franchise tag is still available for Lamar. Now that you've taken care of Roquan Smith, you've freed up that franchise tag. And what if we told you on this show for the last several weeks that your priority number one, if you had to keep either Lamar or Roquan Smith, you would choose Lamar, and now you've basically freed up where you don't have to worry about choosing who to give the franchise tag to. That franchise tag option is still there for Lamar. Now, here's the money that you're paying guys. Some big-time salaries we're talking about here. Ronnie Stanley's your highest-paid player, close to $24 million. Roquan Smith slides in with that $20 million, making him the second highest-paid player. Marlon Humphrey, close to $20 million, then Mark Andrews at about $13.5. If you were to extend Lamar Jackson, you're talking close to $50 million, which is considerably more than all those guys there. And we know the salary cap is going to go up a bit, but can you make it all work? As Dave Ramsey says, can you make your money work for you? That is going to be on the minds of Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh over the next several weeks. Is there enough money to make this work where you've paid Roquan, you got a lot of these other guys locked up, but can you do enough, not only just franchise tag Lamar Jackson, but can you extend him and give him the big payday as well? I think they'll find a way. I think they will. And what all of this tells me, what you're seeing on your screen right now, of what those guys have been paid, the Ravens are going all in. They're not sitting back. This is not rebuilding mode. This is not a reset button of some sorts. The Ravens are committed to the future to try to make this thing work. You don't pay those guys and not pay Lamar as far as I'm concerned. They're going to find a way. I believe it. Let's see what happens. So, predict it for me. Will the Ravens extend Lamar Jackson? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section. Will a deal get done? Y for yes, N for no, if the Ravens will now take care of Lamar Jackson. As always, you can follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and more, at Tyler Jones Live. This is a big day for your Baltimore Ravens, a big week. The playoffs are starting here in just a few days. We got you covered. Stay with us all week long right here on the Ravens Rundown. Don't go anywhere.